Okay, so today is going to be the final month of me actually playing this game, and so it's been a good series that's lasted about a year, and I've had a lot of unique formats to go along with it, so we're going to end off with a bang with my favorite type of format of all, which is a permadeath run, which will be, I have this month and this month only. I don't know if the season ends today's episode or next episode. I never really pay attention to that. It might be next episode, but whatever. So that'll be the beginning of the end, where that's the last season I get to play, the last month effectively, and I have to get to rank 50, and it'll be the first time ever, really the first time that I would have ever tried to either, because I've only gotten as high as rank 20, and part of that maybe is because, okay, my collection has been limited. You know, I don't have the greatest cards or decks or whatever, but also I just never play enough. I play an average of about an hour a week, only once a week on every Friday, and so I've been doing that for about a year. It's gone on for a little over a year, so that's like, you know, 60 some odd episodes that I've done, so I've uploaded most of them to YouTube, you know, every week along with it. And so it has been a very definitive playthrough, but all my criteria have been, it's a first playthrough, it's a free-to-play playthrough, it's a no crafting playthrough, and also it's a little permadeath hero rotation every episode. Like, if I play as each hero until I lose a game. So like if I play the first game as Captain Combustible and I lose, then I can't play as him anymore for the rest of the episode. So all of those I'm going to keep intact, except for that one, where first of all, I'm gonna have to play a lot more. That's my big concern. That shows you what a filthy casual I am, that like I'm worried about a casual mobile game being too much for me to handle in terms of getting to rank 50 because I don't play enough, right? So I'm too casual for even a casual game, but I'll have to play more often, so I won't just do it on Friday. I'll do it whenever I get a chance, the way that I sometimes do with chess, like in the morning before, you know, like I'll do a stream in the morning of chess, even if it's not my normal day to play chess, which is Tuesday, just randomly if I feel like it. And then at night I'll do my other normal category for the day, right? Like this even. So like today morning I could have done chess, which I didn't, but that's what I sometimes do. So I'll have to put this in that slot, where whenever I have free time I'll have to just fit it in, because otherwise I simply won't have time. But even with that, I'm a little bit worried. And again, I've only gotten to rank 20, but there's a few things that sort of help that notion. Is, again, I haven't played long enough where you'd think I should get that much farther. I don't have the greatest cards or decks, although that is going to stay true because I still can't craft. It's still free to play. And so what I'm going to look at is the fact that the matchmaking is so fucked up that, like, oh, I might only be at rank 20, but I'm playing against like rank 30s and 40s and sometimes beating them. So just because I've gotten to rank 20 doesn't mean I haven't beaten people who are, you know, rank 45 or whatever the fuck, like. So it shows you that you can always be competitive at that level, although you will start losing stars. I forget exactly when. Like, you don't just gain ranks from winning like you do at the low ranks in most games. Once you get to a certain rank, which I forget what that is, you start losing stars or ranks every time you lose a game. And you also probably won't get the win streak bonus that I'm always known as, like a win streak abuser, like in Hearthstone. So I could win and lose the equal number of games but still make progress. How is that? Like, you lose 3 and then you win 5 in a row and then you lose 2, so you went 5 and 5, but because you won 5 in a row you got the win streak bonus, so you got farther than, instead of just staying in place, right, from whatever you lose. So there's some weird stuff you can do like that to a certain extent. So it is going to be difficult, and I'm not even going to say my level of play has been perfect. But again, you have to realize how sporadic it is. Like, if I played every single day, you'd get in more of a rhythm. So even though I played like on and off for a year, because I'm only doing it once a week and because I'm only doing it for like an hour, you know, it's like, oh, I come home from work and I'm about to go to bed and I just play an hour just to, you know, fuck around. It's a little harder to always process everything or remember everything. So now we're going to play it on a more regular basis, where it's going to have to be almost every day, which seems a little bit weird to do. But I mean, this is it. This will be the final month of playing this game, and it will be a very epic way to go out. This is the kind of thing I've wanted to do in card games more, but I sometimes, I don't know, I feel nervous about it or something, because it's not always up to you or your ability, or it means you have to net deck, but this is very much within my other format. So the only format that I'm dropping, right, it's still free to play. I'm not going to buy anything with money. It's still no crafting, so I'm not going to craft anything ever at any point in this playthrough. And it is also still, what was the other one? Like the permadeath hero thing I'm going to do, but not as an absolute. Meaning, if I lose as a hero, I have to play as every other hero again until I lose with them, and then I can come back to the same one. But it doesn't mean that like once per episode, like I can do whatever I want with that. So I'll play as combustible, then if I lose, then I have to lose as everybody else and then rotate back, something like that, which I'm not the biggest fan of doing that either, because then you won't get a rhythm with one, or you're not always playing your best one. But I will still say that, but you know, realistically, you should just pick one and commit to it. Or I almost wanted to pick one side and commit to it, like only play as plants or only play as zombies, but it doesn't really matter. So we'll see if we are actually in the next season, first of all, which I guess we're not. So it would be next week that we actually officially start. I just wanted to see Miracle Workers join the bundle. At least I'm pretty sure that would have to be the case, right? Like, what rank am I right now? So all the gems now are just going to be for packs, right? I already got my... Last episode, I got my zombie hero. So I used those two things to sort of as the benchmark to say when this final phase should start, right? That I got my first zombie hero, which is the Yeti zombie. And then I also got... who unfortunately can't use Bad Moon Rising despite all the buildup with that. So only one of my characters can use that. And number 2 is I got Bad Moon Rising itself just from the event card. So we were kind of waiting for that. So it's fortuitous timing. We have everything we need. Again, I'm not going to say my collection is bad. We have a lot of fun, good cards, but it's not going to have the highest level of cohesion to it, which can sometimes be still fine. Like, yes, I have double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, which is insane to think in a no crafting run that probably is impossible to happen. And I got them pretty close to each other too, but for whatever effect, it's like I still don't get to the point where I can actually play it very often, right? Like I have to stall the game out a little better or something. So again, it's a case of the 3 levels of card game deck quality. Like the lowest level is you have bad cards and no synergy between them. The middle level is you have good cards, but no synergy between them, which is what I have here. Like, I'll have the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, but I don't really have, like, a meta control game that guarantees you're going to get them out or really win, you know. It's just random stuff, but some of it is pretty high quality. Or the mid-level can be, it can be a good synergy, like you have some sort of pirate warrior, like low-cost budget stuff, but it's not the highest quality cards, it's just a high budget, or I'm sorry, it's not good quality cards, but it's just a synergistic thing where everything buffs each other, etc., right? So it works together. And then of course the highest level is combining both of those, where it's high quality cards also with synergy. So I certainly don't have that level of a collection, so I'll have to rely on my innate ability here. But yeah, we got the zombie Yeti, so I didn't play as him at all, so we could introduce the episode with him or something like that. And again, everything we're doing here is just gravy, but we'd like to see, you know, whatever rank we get to doesn't matter. Imagine having 8 fucking raw zombies here. I might have disenchanted some stuff by mistake, but that'll basically be the failure condition. But like, I haven't used that material to craft anything back. The one thing is that the failure state will be that I have to either delete my account, to whatever extent you can even do that, I don't know, or just like I have to disenchant my whole collection. And since I can't craft, I can't play, you know, I won't be able to use the dust anyway. So you're basically deleting your whole collection. Either way, though, whether I succeed or fail, I'll end the playthrough. Like, this will be the last month that I play, that I could always come back for a bonus series, but it'll be whether I have my collection intact still or whether it's gone, whether I succeed or not. And I only get one chance. Like, it's this month. It's not like, oh, if I fail this month, I'll try again next month. It's not going to be like that. It'll be a one-off, one-time thing, so I'm not even super confident. But I did have that pretty boss Hearthstone run of that too, where like I didn't really set the permadeath condition, but it was sort of subtle or implied, like, you know, I haven't played the game in years. This was like in I think September 2022. And it's like, I haven't played the game in a super long time, and I certainly haven't played the meta in a while. And I just say, fuck it, this month I feel like getting the legend for the first time in wild format, right? And my first time getting the legend in a while, and I just do it on a whim with like a recipe deck. Yeah, literally with like one of these, right? Can you get to rank 50 with a deck recipe? Like, fucking, this is nuts, or Popstar or whatever, right? It was one of those, like the imp deck. So just to do that on a whim, I got to like the Diamond 3, and then I had to use an actual meta deck from there. But I could have probably still done it. It would have just taken fucking forever, like with back and forth, win one, lose one. But that is what scares me. As you get to the further level, you're going to see a lot of matchups like that. But what else was I going to say? Just like my overall opinion of the game is it's pretty good. Again, it's sort of unfinished and a little sad how they didn't take it to all it could have been. It's stupid that it wasn't on PC. That was a big death knell of it, probably. And it was also the case of, I love the aesthetic and the presentation. The way the zombies and the plants look on the board is much more entertaining than most card games, even card games that I like Magic and Hearthstone. They don't visually represent them as well. Yu-Gi-Oh! Typically will be pretty good about that, but yeah, it does a good job in a lot of ways. But again, the unfinished nature, the limited number of cards, all of that would sort of benefit me, though, in the context of the playthrough, because this is like me giving a retrospective, because this episode is meaningless anyway, right? I'm ranked 10, so it doesn't matter what I do here. It's like, you know what I mean? It's going to be the start. It would have to. Oh, yeah, it says it. I think it says it in here, doesn't it? When it ends. I just always forget to look, or maybe it doesn't. I thought it said, like, this season ends in X number of days, so I'm sure it must be next week. That'd be kind of a buzzkill if it wasn't. It would have to be. But, yeah, whatever. We'll see how far we can get here anyway. I almost should lift that condition. That's the only format that I'll change. I'm basically switching one format for another. Instead of it being Permadeath Heroes, it'll be Permadeath overall. That you know, I have to get to rank 50 or after doing my account, and they all die, basically. But the whole rotation, it'll be okay, because I'll have to play such an obscene amount, which I don't know whether I'll have time enough to do it. So I guess I could do it here. If I just get to rank 50 tonight, I'll succeed the challenge this month, basically. But we obviously wouldn't expect to be able to do that. So I'll have to play pretty much every day, and I'm a little worried about, again, how long it's going to take. But that shows you what's sort of deceptive, too. Like, maybe I could have gone there all along, but I just never played enough to know the difference. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll give that guy the precedent, actually. And actually, we got a couple of new cards, apparently, that I didn't really notice. It must have been along with the Zombie Yeti. So this is a... This gets +3 when you play a pet, which I do have a number of them. But it's only this turn, so do I really want that? But I guess you could keep doing it, like feed into it. I don't think I even really like that, but sometimes I make a point to do it just because, like, oh, it's new, so I like it. It's like a limited synergy scope. Like, I do have a lot of pets. I don't know. I don't really want to use it even. Maybe I'll use it in the Yeti one, though, just for the fuck of it. Nothing too exciting there. Or I even have to probably make a deck for the Yeti from scratch, which I almost don't feel like doing. I'll just sort of throw something together here. The Smash and Infinity. And, of course, Brain Freeze. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it made it seem like I had 5 because it... Whatever. It sort of reset the position when you look at these. Yeah, most of the stuff we already have. And so, again, whatever other cards we get now is just sort of gravy. But we pretty much are doing it with what we have here. I guess we could use this as a baseline for it. Let's see what this actually is. What? Oh, but you can't even do it. Why is it even letting me pretend like I'm doing that? Own cards to find. 27,000 dust to make that shit. Yeah, go back. Okay, so let me see what we have here. This would be my first Brain Freeze deck ever. I'm having something of a brain freeze myself, even trying to do this, because I don't really want to make it. I wasn't thinking about having to do this, but I guess it makes sense. We'll use that just for the sake that it's new. We'll have a certain amount of pet aspect. I do like the Yeti itself. There's like a cosmic Yeti that keeps giving you stuff. So if it stays alive every turn, you keep getting infinite value in terms of the pets. This is Conjure a Legendary card. That's fine. You have 2 of those. I'm not a big fan of this. Zombies played here, Gravestone. Maybe I'll do 1 of them. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of some of these cards here. But this would be still more like a mid-range type of character. So anything that we have that many copies of. People like this card, but I actually don't. Maybe 1 of these. The scuba thing is kind of dumb, although the value isn't too bad. 1 mana, 2, 1. The chicken is okay. 1 mana, 2, 2 is more up my alley. This can be kind of good to block a lane with, actually. But this isn't going to be too different than any of my other decks. Right. It's kind of, the zombies have been kind of boring in a way. Like, they're not super distinct. They're just kind of... I don't find Infinity that fun with what I have. I don't find even Super Brains that fun, even with Bad Moon Rising. They're just kind of okay, but... Probably one of their nuts or berries. That can sometimes be good, but I haven't seen it really come into play very much. This card can be good. These 2 are good. -2/-2. If it's heights or environment, it gets -6, -6. I feel like I sort of underestimate this card at times where it can be good, but I don't have enough environments myself, I feel like, to actually justify it. But even on the height, it should say in the height or on the water too, right? Heights or environment. I don't think the water counts as an environment though in that particular context. So you have 2 of those. Again, some of this is in here just for the sake of it. Like, I don't know. Let's see, what is this environment here? Zombies here get deadly and strike through. That has many good situational uses. When a zombie gravestone, when a real zombie gets +2/+2, I don't want that. 2 of those. I don't really want anti-hero. This is the vampire thing that whole deck was apparently based around, the deck recipe here. +2/+2 when it destroys a plant. I'm not really that impressed by it. I don't even want it. Like, it's not going to stick around long enough for that to be relevant. I don't even want that other Yeti. I am a fan of Death Touch here, which is not actually what it's called. Deadly, obviously. Destroy a random plant. That's not very good value. The firefighter's clown. You have maybe 2 of these, maybe almost like 4 of those. Most of this stuff you want to have just for the sake of it. This is some crazy buff. +5/+5 frenzy. Oh shit, that worked out to a perfect 40, so let's not even question it. But this Smashing Gargantuar. Wait. How could we have gotten 2 of those? Just like that. That's weird. Is that like maybe some guaranteed thing? I don't know if I even want 2 of them, but I mean, I kind of do. So you have a good sort of late game thing. You don't really need that. You get rid of something I have 2 copies of, or just something I don't want overall. Like even that, you don't really need. I feel like I don't often get very good value out of him. That Headstone Carver guy, but 1 mana 1/3 isn't even that bad by itself. Let me look at something actually, or I guess it won't show me now anymore. If I like went to buy him, would it guarantee that he gives me both of those? I'm almost doubting that. I don't want to feel like, oh, I accidentally cheated and somehow crafted that by mistake. I don't see how I could have, really. Or you can always tell that by like how much dust did I have. 885. I don't know, whatever. I'm pretty positive I didn't. Let's go ahead and give Brain Freeze a shot. There's nothing really too exciting about that deck though. So yeah, this is kind of a big moment, but today is just kind of a relaxing final preparation episode. Then from next episode we'll go hardcore. I'll let that sort of be the start of it, although maybe I shouldn't, because it really doesn't tell you that, huh? When does it say build your rank as high as you can? Seasons run for several months. What do you mean? No, they don't. It only lasts for 1 month, because if it didn't, then this wouldn't be a concern. Seasons run several months. Follow your progress and climb the ranks in each new season. Wait, that's not even true though. I swear it normally says it. Maybe I'll do some other surprise episode, because if I wanted to start early, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to miss a day if I can do it sooner. So maybe I'll log in a few times and just check and decide to do it like that. But whatever. Presumably next week, next Friday, next episode will be the one that actually starts what we're doing here. So yeah, there's nothing to say besides the only format that'll kind of annoy me is the Permadeath hero thing too. Like, oh, I'm on a good streak, but I guess you won't be on a good streak, because only when you lose does that become relevant. I almost have to check that myself. What did I get that from? I'll check it like after this. I'm somehow confused. What are the chances that we would get 2 of the same fucking thing? That Gargantuar. So he's ranked 20. Detroit Q Dog. Yeah, we're not going to get any more heroes unless I get one from a pack. Of course, I can still open packs, but I don't have that many gems really, because we just used the 750. So those are like the 2 unlock things that I tried to do, right? Like, oh, we wanted to wait till we get Bad Moon Rising, and then I use that as a segue to also get a hero, my first and only zombie hero that isn't one of the starting ones. We're gonna lose to the Admiral Bean guy, fucking meme worthy card that he is. Deal 2 damage to zombie hero. It'd be more useful if it was 2 damage to anything, because then you could potentially kill something. Is like my game lagging, or is it just this guy? Because this doesn't normally happen. Look how simple the settings are too. Player ID, identity pin. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, this is going to be epic because you're going in sort of blind. I don't know what to really expect. Not that I don't know what to expect generally from the game, but I don't know what to expect, like, from some of the higher ranks. And, like, it could be that it's objectively impossible to do it, right, given my collection. Not even that I'm dissatisfied with it, but, again, you'll have to learn and find that out for yourself. Like, oh, shit, this is one of my favorite cards, too. Or just the Armor 2 itself is so exciting that I'd be the type of dude to have the Knights of the Living Dead in my deck, period. Right, without even having the King, but it's obviously not as good value that way. He just makes it himself. So, let's see what his little superpowers are. Freeze all plants on the ground. I don't mind the superpower mechanic, but I do mind the block meter itself and the whole immunity it gives you. It should just be the superpower meter where you just get the superpower, not that it makes you invincible, as I've said probably a million times throughout this series. But no, this has been a very unique playthrough. In fact, I can guarantee you nobody's done it quite like this, where it's so many formats baked into one with respect to, you know, with respect to the simple fact that you have, you know, again, free to play first playthrough, no crafting, permadeath thing, permadeath heroes into permadeath, whatever the fuck we have here. The problem is it won't transform anything because I don't have enough out there. So maybe I overestimated a little bit, or please do the 3-2 just so I can do this. Oh shit, you got lucky. Already starting off with a good RNG favorable thing, but let's save it for next month. Yeah, I wish seasons lasted more than a month, because if they did, then I'd have more time. But that's what happens with me in every card game. It's like, even if I wanted to be competitive, you know, and try to ladder, I don't even play anyone enough. I wouldn't even be able to. You know what I mean? Like Hearthstone or Magic or something. And I guess I'll do Magic after that. Right, like next expansion with Magic, I'll do my green thing, and it'll be a permanent thing there too. If I can't get to Mythic for the first time with a green deck, then I'll have to, whatever, delete my account or collection and then play Magic online. That'll be a good segue. So either way, it's a finale for both of these card games that's going to come sort of back to back. Right, so whether I succeed or fail, it'll still be sort of the ending. And then again, I can always do like a bonus series or something with it after the fact. But I would almost say, oh, I could start a new collection then. Well, what's the point? Right, like, obviously, it takes a long time to get even a decent collection like what I have. But, you know, I would be fighting just to save it now. Which we've been very fortunate with some of the things we've gotten. So it'd be a shame to see it go. So they're already pretty much dead. See, they have 0 suns, so there's some sort of bug that happens here. How can they do that if... And what kind of bot play is this? We're just going to farm bots all day. You just let yourself die by putting it there. Like, doesn't that not prove that it's a bot? What the fuck is that? Even when I win, I'm dissatisfied with it. So the Yeti wins his first game. Let's go ahead and keep going. Or I wanted to check that, but actually I will. Hang on. I don't know. I actually can't figure out. I watched like some of my last week's episode, and I don't see actually where I got that shit from. You would think I would have gotten it with him or something, but I really don't know. So, or I mean, everything would appear as new, so maybe I already had them. Oh, maybe that's what I'm tricking myself. It looks new, but everything is new for him. But I don't know actually. Hey, Simply, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. But no, yeah, my other format too was like I can only buy the hero. Not that I bought very many, obviously. I only bought Captain Combustible and the Yeti here, but I could only buy a hero when I have a legendary of each type already in my collection. So obviously I had no choice but to get this one because, right, he's the only one where I actually meet that criteria with the nurse and the other, whatever. What even is my other legendary? I don't even know offhand. Oh yeah, the cowboy thing itself. Good luck on rank 50. Thanks. It'll be next month, I guess, though, that we do it. Or I mean, like next week, because the season isn't over yet. But yeah, well, I'm so confused by this. I didn't change my Smash deck, right? So it would be in there then, I guess. Where did I get those 2 cards? I don't want to feel like I'm cheating my thing. Or maybe we got one of them? Smash and Gargantuar. I really don't remember having two of those, but I guess we did. Wait, whatever. Let's keep going. Huh. That is so random. I'm the only... Yeah, that happens sometimes because this game is kind of dead, at least when it comes to that aspect. That usually it's not the most popular thing to make content on, at least not in this day and age. And usually when it is a... I'm just win trading with somebody here. We'll just do this all the way to rank 50. But... Or it'll be that you farm the same person over and over because they're the only one who's playing. It'll be that there's a big streamer like Fry 'em Up or somebody else, I can't remember. Right, there's like 2 or 3 big streamers who do it, and that's about it. And I'm the only other one, the only clown small streamer who plays this game. My YouTube series for this actually did really, really well compared to everything else I do, at least because, again, probably people are starved for content. And so I'm like the only one actually doing one in this year, at least, because the game's been out for 8 years, so nobody really cares about it anymore as much. It has like a small but passionate fan base to it, which I guess I am a part of for this period of time. But no, it seems to have a healthy player base, but then you realize that most of these people are probably bots. I can't help but say that because it just feels like it, right? Like the queue times are way too fast. How can this game always... How can this game always have a healthier player base than... You like this game? Yeah, I like it too, but I mean, it doesn't have like the biggest following anymore, at least, I wouldn't think. Zombie tricks cost 1 more. Well, the joke's on you because I don't even really like using tricks. Which is the ironic reason why I like Dark Matter Dragon Fruit so much. Not just because it's such a good card, period, but because it's actually a... Whatever, it increases the cost of their cards so much too. That's specifically a mechanic I love so much, like you know, Lothab or Jinzo or something. This Thorn thing is very annoying. Yeah, I wonder what the modding scene for this was, because there's a lot of good things you can do with that. Or unfortunately what people have also said is there's a lot of cheaters where, you know, people would hack it and have a deck full of 40 of the same card and just cheese you all the way. It's like, if we start losing to stuff like that, clearly that would be the only way that I would fail my challenge of getting to rank 50, is if we run into too many hackers like that. But I thought at first they just meant like, oh, they hacked the game for cards, period. Like, just so they have every card in the game and they have a really good collection, right? That's one thing. But to do it so you can just have 40 of the same card in your deck and break the rules is a whole nother story. I don't really get how they would allow that to happen. Freeze all plants on the ground. Don't really need to do it right now. Interesting game mechanics, fun games, including single player, daily challenges, many cards, many classes. Yeah, I've never really tried the single player stuff at all, actually. I almost feel like just ignoring everything that they're doing. But yeah, let's use this game to clown other games. Like, this is a mobile, casual card game, which there's nothing wrong with that, but like Magic the Gathering doesn't even have crafting, and this game does, so that kind of puts Magic to shame. The most complex, crazy card game out there, and oh, this game, PvZ Heroes has crafting, but your game doesn't, right? For whatever reason that would be valid. Like, why wouldn't it? And then this game displays its card backs more beautifully than, or I guess oh fuck, I didn't have to do that. This game displays its minions and its card backs better, or no card back. I'm thinking of something else. This game displays its minions more beautifully and effectively than other games do, where it doesn't just appear as a card, basically. And then you have, What was the other thing? I had a whole list of things that I made fun of other games with. This game has crafting, but but Magic the Gathering doesn't. This game has something that, oh yeah, it has a 40 card deck, whereas Hearthstone only has a 30 card deck. So, oh, it's more complicated than Hearthstone. Not that it really is, but just by that token. And then what was the other one? Like, just the way it displays its minions is so much more engaging than, you know, seeing a card on the board, right? You see an actual animated full character. That part I find pretty impressive. Single player is just a single missions. This game is better than Hearthstone. I wouldn't really say that, but you know, its presentation is very good. I just think Hearthstone has way too many cards, so it makes it sort of unfair, right? Like, I don't even know actually how many cards Hearthstone has now, but if this game had kept up with like sort of active development, then I could understand that. Right, like if they had consistently kept adding new expansions and new cards over the course of years, then it could have been something else. I love how you get like photobombed by the one next to you. Like you can't see his face because of this. Why doesn't it work the other way where this guy covers him? And then you always get cut off on the side of the screen if you put it there. Zombies here are gravestones. Am I actually gonna die? But how? What the fuck? That seems so one-sided. Like I was easily gonna win that. I'm already throwing. So now I could play an infinite number of games, but I am gonna keep that rule that I just have to play. I have to play the what do you call it? I don't even have to switch sides, I guess, anymore. But I'll switch heroes at least. I feel like Captain Combustible would be my best chance to actually do it too, because you can do it in such a quick way. I always have that philosophy, like from rank 1 to rank 30, like from bronze rank to diamond rank or something, you should play as bronze rank to like gold rank. You should play as an aggro deck because it'll be the easiest to ladder with that. Right, it'll be the quickest, so at least I don't have to waste an hour on a slow control matchup, whether I win or lose, right, at a low rank. I just do it quickly, get it over with, right? So use aggro to get from low ranks to mid ranks, then from mid ranks use mid range, whatever, and then at the highest rank use control, like, or why am I doing that when I should be playing aggro? Fuck, I already messed up. And then at the highest rank use control, like assuming that you have to, or assuming there's a delineation of card quality or deck quality, but always do it like that, because you have a case where I don't know why am I playing defensively as Captain Combustible, but it would save you time at least, because again, you might win 10 games in a row as Priest or something in Hearthstone, but then you fucking waste like an hour on each game. Guaranteed lethal for, yeah, that was kind of a stupid sequence. I'd probably mess something up. Kind of just want to go phase here, which tends to work pretty well for me actually. Fuck it, like I don't care. It seems like a waste, but you know, I'm not going to win in the long term anyway, so but yeah, this game has like less than 1,000 cards or something of the sort, so I think I had around 800. I think I counted it between plants and zombies, like 400 each, which is good for like a launch state of the game. Or they did have a couple expansions obviously in there, but this game still had more support than Elder Scrolls Legends, because that they gave up on that super quick, which is shocking for such a big IP. You have a double strike, which almost feels unnecessary, but the reason you play control is in high ranks. If you go aggro, you might lose all your cards during that, and control is where you can keep control of the board and make sure where to place the plants. Yeah, like usually, I mean that more in a general sense too, not just in this game, but like in any card game, that's usually what people do, like, or at least it's a good piece of advice, like, you know, from ranked 1 to 30, I should play as Captain Combustible because I'm going to save time and just breeze through it. And then after that, you know, you're going to have to think a little more carefully, but it's kind of a waste of your time otherwise, because I actually don't know what to do here. This is all like kind of a waste, and the Leafy card would be good, but no, it's a case where you obviously... Actually, I probably could have just killed him if I did that, but I expected some sort of removal. You know, save yourself time early on, regardless of the quality of the deck, assuming that they're all good meta top tier decks. And this game, as I keep saying, it almost doesn't feel like it has control decks, because they still feel like high mid-range, because this game doesn't really have games that go on for like an hour, right? They're kind of more level still. It's sort of like I don't know how to explain it. It's basically just the pace of this game is still pretty fast, so you don't have those really annoying, obnoxious, super long control matchups. Everything is just still very much grounded in mid to late game. So like even the smash is sort of mid-range. I don't know what control even really looks like in this game. I maybe have seen a few decks like that, but it just doesn't feel the same as in other games. Thanks. Yeah, it's always Captain Combustible that we go on a roll with, but maybe just because I play them first and then I don't get around to playing other ones for the rest of the episode. But yeah, let's just use this as a barometer to test, like how far can we actually go? And there seems to be no limit, assuming that I can just play long enough, which I never have. I mean, I could say the same thing in Magic actually too. The 1 month that I actually played a decent amount, and that was a while ago, I got to Platinum. But every other seems like a bad idea, but I'll do it anyway. I got to Platinum, and then I haven't gotten there since, so it just shows you I haven't played as much since then. It is a little tough for people, like, you know, you would say that, like, the reason why, you know, it's a monthly thing, so anybody, like, who has a full-time job and whatever, it's like, it's pretty hard to play, especially, you know, if you just want to only play the one game, I can understand. It's pretty hard to play enough in 1 month. It's almost like there should be a ranking system for a season basis, like, for an expansion, I mean, like, so if a Hearthstone expansion lasts like 4 months, or a Magic expansion lasts like 4 months, then I could understand, because what you do is you say, okay, now you have 4 months to get from 1 to max rank, like whatever, legend rank, or in this case rank 50, mythic rank in Magic. You have a whole expansion to do it, not just a whole month to do it, because that's obviously a little bit tough for people with casual schedules, I guess, like mine now. Even for a casual game like this, you would still feel that's really fucking annoying. That kind of card will just ruin you as this type of deck. Magic Beanstalks is not really what I want to do here. And this curve is actually pretty bad this turn too. Right, like I just don't have anything. I guess I can just do this for the sake of it, but I don't know that I even really want that. It is a pretty good value card, but I don't want it to mess up what I'm trying to do otherwise. See, your window of victory here is very short. Like, if I don't win now in a couple turns, right, I'm just going to burn out and it's just going to be over. It'll get sucked into there anyway, so... Damn it, there's not much I can do. There's a 4/4. It won't actually die, but it just... Everything here feels so awkward now. The pace already is favoring them. That's a really slow card, though. That's not the kind of card you want to play against a character like Combustible, because it's just way too slow. You want to try to control the board and whatever, but they seem to be having no problem doing that anyway. +1, +3. It wasn't going to die anyway, so... I'm not going to have any good removal, so this one's going to be a definite loss, right? This is just one of those matchups that's just tough. Oh, fuck. That kind of is impossible, though, because I would have had no choice but to do that. Because no matter what, I would have had to play it in the middle because of this, and then I would have had to move it somewhere else, so I couldn't have traded even if I wanted to. Yeah, the aesthetic is the greatest strength of this too, just the whole presentation. I'm surprised that's such a big deal in card games, that, you know, presenting the cards, presenting the minions. Again, maybe because those games have so many cards they can't keep up with doing that, but, you know, just presenting it as an actual minion or an actual, you know, animated thing on the board is so rare to see. I mean, I'd want to go face, but I just don't see it happening here. That environment is actually ruining me because I can't do anything. Oh, thank God. Right, like he's... Oh, fuck, I should have played one of those things too. I'm being kind of stupid. But, yeah, like, I just can't play around it. Fuck off, dude. He does that cheese again. Like, mana obviously ends up not being an issue here. I should say the sun. But... I guess I just sort of went into this episode even with my title totally blind. I wasn't sure whether it's this week or next week that the season starts, but yeah, I don't have much faith that I could win this, but it's trying to throw me a bone, at least with the environment. It'll be a 7-7, so it will actually do that and still survive too. I don't even really want to worry about the board still. Like, they've had board control for a couple turns, but they haven't done any meaningful amount of damage to me. So as long as I can kill this stupid dinosaur and get it hit into the face, I might be able to still rush them down. Like that's what you got to do as a deck like this. Just go, fuck off. You got to go full face, a reckless abandon, regardless of any risk of injury to yourself. You just still go for it. But imagine what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to replace my little bonus sessions of chess with this game just because of how much of a casual clown I am. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. That's got to be one of the unlikeliest, craziest comebacks we've ever had in the history of this game. Like, when you look at the board position, when you look at my hand being totally dried out. Yeah, speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm literally a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist. That was about a 0% chance of me actually winning that game. He should have just played around the block meter. Just don't give me my superpower that I get for taking damage. Like, what a stupid mechanic at times. Right, like I'm winning because I'm losing. If you take away that card, there's nothing I could have possibly done. But yeah, this game is pretty fast paced, so you don't have to worry too much about those games that drag out forever, right? Regardless of what deck you're playing as. We're already getting some pretty clutch moments. Like, that's got to be one of the best victories we had in terms of the stakes of it and the whatever. Just the circumstance was so unlikely. So they're not doing anything too much here. You know, this is the kind of thing like, oh, they're saving some of their cards for some optimal use or combo. But, like, you know, you just play stuff just for the sake of playing it. Like, play the Youthful Brewmaster or whatever just to trade, even if you can't use the effect to flip the Iron Juggernaut or whatever. Like, my mindset with that, it's like, play stuff in a suboptimal way just to get it out there and to survive on the board, because it's not going to matter. If you can just last them out, then you win anyway. Let's see, what did he say exactly here? The reason you play control in high ranks is if you go aggro, you'll lose all your cards in trying to kill them, rush them down. And yeah, you'll keep control. You'll definitely last longer, basically. Right, instead of burning out so easily. But I have no doubt you could still get to rank 50 by playing an aggro deck if it's just really good, but it just maybe isn't always like that. Yeah, I do like Combustible a lot, even though, well, I'm not an aggro type player necessarily. I'm sort of in between, right? Where I'm more mid-range. I don't like control. I don't like aggro too much. But it seems like the best chance I'd have, or it's always just been sort of good for me. But what you have is, I like Green Shadow a lot. He was like my favorite initially. And I also like probably the Smash I've liked a lot. I like Wall Knight. I like everybody besides Solar Flare. Just somehow I don't like the anti-hero and stuff that I have with her, at least. The Green Shadow would be number 1. Wall Knight would be number 2. Combustible would be number 3. Just if it was my preference, but you know, it's not always up to me because, you know, you got to just go by the performance. And obviously Solar Flare number 4. Then for the zombies, the Smash number 1. It's hard to judge the Yeti because I just got them obviously last episode. So the Smash, it's kind of symbolic too. No, the Smash number 1, the probably Super Brains now number 2 because of Bad Moon Rising, but normally it would be Infinity. Super Brains was always my least favorite and sort of the outcast, so it's kind of ironic that the card that we look forward to so much with Bad Moon Rising ended up being only usable by them. I didn't really know that or think of that as I was anticipating getting it, but you know, it's sort of symbolic of how the run has gone with all the legendaries and the card quality, is that it's favored plants the whole way, and it has nothing to do with me, right? It's just sort of incidentally, the plants always got the legendaries from packs, and they always got the better cards, and they got double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, and I got the hero for them first, so it's only fitting that the zombies get it at the very end, right? We were waiting for getting a hero from a pack for so long, but I end up not being able to do that because I had to buy both of them with my gems. But the plants were definitely spoiled in this whole run. I'm sort of putting all my seeds in one pot here, but it's okay. And they're gonna block that shit anyway. But no, you definitely have the ability to. I swear that image is stolen right out of fucking Wind Waker, like one of the belts or artifacts that the enemies drop. And I mean, it's on the card back too, but the coloration even is the same here, I swear. It's like the pirate insignia or something. As if that's the first place that I really look when looking at the Smash. But no, it's a case where, now see, why would you put it there? Why would you even put it there? What the fuck? Why wouldn't you block it? Only a bot would play like that. Now you're gonna die because you're such a clown bot. Like, what is going on? Why did this happen in like 2 games this episode where they have a way to potentially save lethal and they just ignore it completely? But no, my point was that, yeah, the plants definitely got spoiled by the packs. They would always get better cards. They would always get legendaries. The zombies didn't get any legendaries for a long time. And I think I only have the one still, right? The cowboy is the only one that I got from a pack. The nurse I got from a guaranteed pack that's guaranteed to give you that. So it's not really very exciting. The plants get double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit and all this crazy crap. And I obviously got the hero with them first, and I obviously got more event cards for them too. So those were like the only ways I could impact my collection. I would have to spend a truckload of gems that people kept saying not to do and said it's a waste. But when I did, that's kind of useless anyway. When I did, reminds me of Tracy DeSanta for some reason. Or is that the mom? Amanda DeSanta, I mean. Whatever, the clown female tennis player. But no, what was it? What am I saying? Like, the plants definitely got way better treatment the whole run. Not really even by my choice, right? I had no impact over that. We're on a nice little streak with Combustible, which I thought was sure to end the game before last, but we got very lucky. Have I really been beating up on bots this whole time? Even if I am now, I'll take it as I get to rank 50. It just doesn't really feel like it. You should just ignore what they're doing. Right, this is what always works. Like, if I try to play on the board and win out, like, what's the point? I'm never gonna win if in a matchup where that's actually relevant. Yeah, just look at how long it would actually take. Like, I mean, I have to play this shit actually every day, even if my sessions aren't too long or something. It's hard for me because my schedule is like I stream every day, but I stream like a different category every day. Like Monday I play Magic, and Tuesday I play Chess, and Wednesday I play Smite, and Thursday I play like some random category, a throwback, and Friday I play this, and Saturday I play some other random category, like some game I've never played before, and Sunday I play Hearthstone. So on top of that, now I'm gonna have to fit in this like every single day too, and so I'm not going to just like abandon my normal schedule, but it is a tough commitment when you're trying to commit to one thing, and same thing with Magic is going to be exactly like that. But this at least is worth it because you have no choice, because everything's going to die here anyway, pretty much. So I like when their hand starts to dry out too. Right, because their health is always going to be lower than mine, but very rarely do you get like sort of out aggroed with this. Okay, that's very good. There's not too much AoE in this game really, though. It's just one surprising thing to note. You'll trade in here, or no, you won't, obviously. But you should just win unless you get lucky with that. You could do 3 to the face, and the reason why that's relevant is because whatever, like it's not going to be enough, so it's not really worth it to do it. You can put this here and move him away. Let's see what he's going to get that's actually going to... Or you could do it and then just blow him up. Or no, fuck, I fucked up. Man, I made a lot of mistakes, though, for somebody who's actually won pretty much every game besides the first one. But... fuck. Do 1 damage to each point here. I was trying to do it like where I would berry blast it, but I obviously didn't have enough brains to do it. Dude, you have to get like 1 damage in. Literally 1 damage. Then I can do the stupid berry thing anytime I want. Okay, dude. Alright, you have 0 brains, so there should be really nothing you can possibly even do. So I made that a little more difficult than it had to be. This is where I have to focus a little more and be a little more precise with what I'm doing, though, because I'm actually gonna have to give up playing chess now for like the next month, right? Like, because I won't have time to fit in those sessions at least. Let's just get to rank 15, and I'm gonna have to do it like that on a regular, you know, again, day-to-day basis. It can't be like, oh, one day I have to do it for 10 hours to try to. I mean, I could do that too if I have time, but you know, you got to make it like this. Every day I'll get like 5 ranks and I'll work towards it, and it's fine. If I do it for like an hour a day, it is actually kind of stressful. I don't like this sort of pressure on my schedule that, oh, I only have a month to do it, but that's why I haven't done too many things like that on this channel, though. I mean, you may as well just do that. I like the animation too. Yeah, the bottom line is this is a good game, but it's hard to even say anything about it now because it's been out for long enough that anybody who really wanted to do something with it would have already done it, right? You just have to see what the mods are, what kind of stuff that adds. It could just add probably custom cards and a lot of seemingly Chinese people playing this game. It's -2, -2. Yeah, what do you feel about the Victor Gao interview? That was fucking hilarious. Medi, he keeps saying. You can keep saying my name over and over, but you know, people take that sort of stuff too personally too. It's like, you know, oh, you'll criticize the government like in China. That doesn't mean that you're criticizing people who live there, just like the US. I live in the US and I think Joe Biden's a clown, and I'm not the biggest fan of Trump either. So it's like, they're all clowns. That doesn't mean you have to take it personally that I criticize the government. Like, right, I would do it to my own. So yeah, that interview was pretty classic. I at least respect him for being willing to do that. There have been rumors of balance changes. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Like yeah, someone was telling me like plants are meant to be becoming weaker. I guess I thought that already would have happened, but there was like some leak to do with that. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna lose this because my board is just completely non-existent, which you just can't have with this kind of deck. Yeah, I'm gonna use that as an excuse then. Like, I would have gotten to rank 50, but the balance changes just ruined my plant collection, so now they're not good anymore. So that would have been what makes the difference. If it wasn't for this meddling update, the first update in probably 6 years that they did anything to the game meaningful with. I've had to update the game a couple times since starting this playthrough, but I don't know what it's really done. Probably just very minor things. So yeah, this is the kind of game where the pace just isn't there for you. Right, like they've sort of burned me out. You're just never gonna be able to do enough damage here. I could try to do some surprise trick play with that, but you really don't want the game to last that long anyway. It just feels like whenever I play, I always make progress, but I just never, you know, have played enough. That's the issue. Oh, shit. See, if they have stuff like this, there's nothing I can do. I'll just do that to go out in a blaze of glory. The most epic use of that card that you've ever seen. Yeah, I really don't know where I got that other Gargantua, though. I'd have to look back in, like, one of my older episodes. Because I'm almost feeling like, oh, no, I didn't accidentally craft it, did I? Because I would invalidate the whole fucking run. But maybe I shouldn't have done that in case I would have had a chance here, but I don't know why I would really have even wanted to do that, but oh shit, that would have been absurd though. Like if this actually, they have too many brains though. They'll easily be able to deal with that. But I might have been able to surprise them. Like if this sticks around. No, they're just not gonna let me. Hello, I'm banned from the last 70 streamers tonight. Why is that? I'm here. And then we get another bot. I can see why this guy would be banned, but not weapon. Geneva Convention violation. Ah, yes, of course. As if I didn't think they would have enough removal here. It should be. I always call it Zombot 9000 because the values are all 9, so it almost should be called that. Or it should be Zombot 9999 instead of 9000. 9001 just to do the over 9000 meme. So we can do the smash. It's kind of sad that we don't, that I'm not the biggest fan of Super Brains given the whole hype over Bad Moon Rising. Right, my deck and collection for him isn't the greatest, and I don't even enjoy his maybe style of play too much, but if you play into that, I guess it works, but I'm not saying you'd have to build around it too much, but it's just not that exciting. I still like the Smash more. Yeah, I'll just get to rank 15 here, and then probably next episode will be the next season, so I'll have to... You know, that's when the month will really start. I mean, that could be the ultimate cheese. You could just sort of win trade against somebody on the ladder, and it'd be pretty easy to do because there's not really that many people playing the game. Although, yeah, see, I'm literally doing it right now. Just lag switch them out. Oh, God. Yeah, all these gems I can use to just get packs as much as I want. So try to bolster my collection for the final showdown that we have coming up. Right, there's no other nonsense that I want to waste it on, like event cards or heroes, or, you know, I already have enough of all that. See, rank 30. Now, I'm not even intimidated. I could definitely beat a rank 30, but this is maybe not the best deck with which to do it. Not that it isn't a good deck, but that it's kind of a slow deck, so, you know, my best chance is to sort of rush them down. Right, because he's probably going to have late game value. I always make fun of Nightcap, though. He's not a very commonly seen hero. Conjure another berry. Yeah, I don't really care too much even about that. We're like, so what if it gets to 2 attack? Is that really going to make a difference? And yeah, that could be actually valuable a lot later if he gets some better one out there. Oh shit, what an epic use of this mouse guy. This is how the Black Plague started. I always like his animation. It's so sinister. Like he's taking such delight in doing that. Spreading basically a plague of rats. Kind of dark for a kid's game. That literal kids are playing in school on their phone. I almost feel some weird fascination with saving that. Oh, it's probably a mistake, though. I know that they're going to play a berry that's going to give me value, though. It can be so good. Like, this is a total anti-meta card, right? They're going to play a 6-cost berry or something, right? Like the, whatever, some higher value thing, and it's going to totally be like a big game hunter type of play. Even that's still good value, but it wasn't really worth waiting a whole turn to do it. Dummy can't be heard this turn. Conjure a history card. Dummy's here. Oh, actually, this works pretty well. Although I'm not the biggest fan of that card. So I'll do this just for the sake of it, I guess. Dummy can't be heard this turn. Conjure a history card. Alright, so we'll destroy that one for sure. It's not really the greatest value if it's just a 1 cost, but I don't know what some of the higher cost ones even are. A lot of good nuts, although even those aren't really typically too high cost. Right, like all the whatever, pineapple and the fucking regular walnuts and stuff like that, the water chestnut. This gets +1/+1 for each other amphibious plant. Let's just do that one for now. We'll save this for something later that might be more difficult to deal with. We are playing sort of a slow pace, but stuff like this is really going to be what's going to carry you. One conjuration into another, so you get infinite value. So we can let this guy just charge up my block meter for now. Right, because that lane's not really a threat. +5/+5 in Frenzy. That can be kind of a good surprise finisher type of card sometimes. You man, please. Rank 26. Who's the guy who's always ranked 50? Is it? I think it's Fox. Fox is always somebody who I always see like that as the highest rank of any of these people. Okay, this is fine. Some of these people are just so slow, which I have to start doing that more myself. I have to start taking my time. Can I overcome my chess addiction for a month to be able to do this? Because I'm going to need every second I can get. I'm not even winning by any meaningful amount. I should set some sort of goal like that, though. Try to get 5 ranks every day or something. I just don't want to feel pressured like I have to skip other categories or something. Oh, we're still not ranked 15 though. And it really doesn't matter how far I get now because I have to, you know, this isn't going to count. Although maybe it gives you like a little boost going into next season. like you'll start at rank 5 or something, you get like some sort of secondary badge, I guess, that translates over. Oh, that's the longest queue time we've seen. The bots must be recharging their batteries or some shit. And I never see the point of playing in casual. It's like, you know, whatever. How competitive is this really going to be anyway? The only thing that's deceptive is, again, I'm only rank 14, but I'm playing like rank 30s and stuff. So how, you know, how fair is that? So it doesn't matter, in other words, that I'm rank 14. The whole point of that is you're supposed to play people at a similar rank to yourself. Yeah, the highest I've ever been is rank 20, which I got to a couple times. And then even that I stopped because I hadn't played enough since. What the hell is going on? Okay, rank 6 Wall Knight to bully up on here. I'm bullying literal children in this game. Well, I guess that's a redundant statement because that's all that there's going to be in this game anyway. Yeah, that I just find hilarious, not to diminish, you know, Fry 'em Up or whoever. It's like, imagine being known for this game of all things. Like, you know, you're literally, oh, I'm the biggest PvZ hero streamer. Oh, wait, that's me right now, because it doesn't matter, because obviously, you know, nobody's actually even doing it, so it's not the most competitive space. Although it is impressive that you would still be doing content on it this long into the game's lifespan. Like, what are you really doing with it? And the answer is you're probably monopolizing the content on it, but I don't know why really. I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword. You could say, well, it's a dead category in a dead game, so that makes it harder to make content out of. But on the flip side, it allows you to, again, monopolize the content that is there. So it is definitely interesting. Like, you would think, oh, this is a category you should do as a small streamer, because then you'll be able to be the top streamer in it. But again, it's not hard to be a top streamer in a category. Just pick a dead category that nobody plays, all right, and there you go. But like, hardly anybody plays this game in 2024, but then hardly even fewer people would stream it, and even fewer people would make YouTube content on it, you know, because that's the only way to explain. I won't even take credit for it, like, oh, because it's so, like, oh, my playthrough is so good, that's why I get such and such views or whatever, but that's really not why. Right, like, it's not because of any of my interesting formats or interesting commentary or amazing level of gameplay. It's obviously just because people are starved for content in this game. Okay, that's worth it, I guess. When a plan is played, move it here. Alright, so they're not posing much of a threat. They're sort of burnt out of their hand too. So we've sort of lasted them out in an adequate way, although I'm a little bit low. And this dude has just been chilling the whole game here. There are some very good pun names at this game, although sometimes they overdo it a little bit. But it's very consistent with the way that the game works, or the way the universe works. Like, there's a lot of those flavorful flavor text and stuff like that in PvZ itself. The one thing I really ought to do a playthrough of is PvZ 2. I don't want it to, like, go offline or something. Of course, it's one of those always online type of games that is just irritating, but you know, the fact that I would want to play it is just a single player playthrough, single player campaign, first playthrough, permadeath, whatever. But I can't do it because, oh no, it's gonna, or it'll be different than when it first came out because they've updated it probably to death. So some of that stuff I don't like, because you shouldn't have to worry about that. Like, for a game like this, I can understand because it's always online and whatever, but Like that and Luigi's Mansion 2 are both sequels of games that I have long anticipated playing. I love Luigi's Mansion, obviously, but I've never played part 2, or there's even a part 3 now. And even with PvZ, I guess that's true. Part 3 is sort of in an early beta sort of testing phase still, I think. Yeah, I was saving Luigi's Mansion 2 and obviously PvZ 2, but I should maybe make a point to try to do it. I could even do it in this slot after. So this slot would have gone from... This slot would have gone from PvZ 1 hard mode to PvZ Heroes to now PvZ 2. I don't know whether I want to do that or not. Maybe Friday should just be the actual permadeath slot. Like, I do actual permadeath runs on Friday, like I used to do. Not that I would do it once a week, but I would do it as a dedicated thing back-to-back days. So I was thinking like, oh, I should do Duelist 2 as my next card game, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do make it an actual permadeath day where I just like pick a game and actually do a first playthrough permadeath or just a permadeath run overall. That might actually be a better idea as like a dedicated regular series. Like, where could I put fit my other thing in then if I do Duelist 2? I've been saying that I wanted to do it for a while though, so maybe that deserves a full playthrough. Yeah, they just completely outvalued me, but not by too much actually. Wait, but what about... Oh, that has bullseye obviously anyway. Okay. Fuck, now you're cucking me from getting to rank 15. But no, this is where it's sort of deceptive. Like, watch. I'll play as Green Shadow with my double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, but I very rarely ever get to play them. Right? The game is always over by then. So it's a good problem to have, obviously. It's a first-class problem in a card game that, oh, I have an amazing card and I just can't play it because I, you know... Because I basically, whatever, either I win before I get to play it or I lose before I get to play it, but... And even having two of them, like, it's a very lofty position from which to complain. Yeah, those are my two addictions at present time, which is obviously just... You could hope that you flip that thing back, but I don't know. Is chess and card games, both turn-based games for a filthy casual clown like me. Yeah, those are the two other formats I'd be thinking about. Is like, or I could make that into Thursday, because Thursday is sort of an open slot. So if I end the Throwback Thursday thing, I could do it. Yeah, maybe I should do it like that. Friday should still be, fuck, I'd want to do those two together. Like, the leafy thing to actually get a conjuration out of it. Once Throwback Thursday is over, then I could replace that with a Permadeath proper thing. And then... Friday could still be a card game or some other series, so like Duelist 2 I've been talking about for a while. And then of course Wednesday is always the multiplayer permadeath slot, so that's like, you know, Paladins into you know, Overwatch into Paladins into Smite into probably League of Legends or some shit, where you just play as every character until you lose, which oddly enough is how I wanted to start this series. I thought, oh, I'll just play as every hero until I lose a game and then the series will be over. Like, I thought it'll be a short one-off thing, but it just didn't feel right to do a card game that way, and it was maybe a little better and more enjoyable than I thought, and it was also, you know, maybe more popular than I thought, but that doesn't mean that I would do it just for that reason. But it is surprising. But I definitely wasn't expecting that. When her make a Gargantua throwing imp. Make it. Why do I feel like I haven't really seen this one even ever before? They cost 5 in another random lane. You have to hope whatever he does with that is going to it's not going to go in the middle, and it doesn't. When revealed, move it, but you still get the effect of that, so you get baited. That was a pretty epic bait. Oh shit. Now when you get hard stuck at rank 14. Now we can play a Super Brains, try to get the Bad Moon Rising thing in. So Infinity is getting the Solar Flare treatment, where he's at the bottom of the barrel as far as the ones that I actually want to play. Not that I have anything against him, but it's just not super exciting. Alright, come on. This should be the last one. I'm actually going to speed run through every fucking hero. It started off kind of encouraging, but now it's getting a little annoying. This is where you are going to get cucked, actually, because, you know, oh, I'll be on a good win streak, and then I'll have to go through every other hero in the game. Like, you know, and then go on a bad streak from that. Don't really need the card draw right now. You get Bad Moon Rising right on cue. When Pyro hurts the planet hero, get +1/+1. See, like, we don't have any of these synergies that we really build around. Like, oh, every card in our deck is a pirate or a sports zombie or something. We have some sort of pseudo synergy like that, but it's not really like a full-on thing. It's just sort of incidental. The little gravestone is not particularly interesting here. Come on, let's just beat him on this rank 24, which again, on average, we're doing pretty well against these higher matchups. So my collection is like at a mid-level. It's not the best where you would really expect it to get to rank 50. It's not bad, obviously, where I do have some really good cards in there. You kind of have to make the best of what you have. So it's kind of like a roguelike playthrough in a way, right? Like I'm trying to go with whatever I have. It's like a roguelike Nuzlocke run of this game, because whatever you happen to have gotten along the way is what you have to just deal with. Right, for better or for worse. And so that's what makes getting the double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, for example, so meaningful, because of how unlikely that was to happen and how it wasn't within my control. Right, so like if I didn't get it like that, you know, you would have just never gotten that card anyway. Maybe that wasn't the best time to actually do it, but it puts pressure on them to try to kill that, or try to put something in front of it that's going to trade in, which apparently they're not going to try to do. But you're still going to get 3 hits out of it. Animation is actually a little slow, though, for how many times that could potentially happen. Now he just goes off the screen and comes back on the other side and does it in an infinite loop. I guess I'm just trying to play this aggro style, which you really shouldn't even do. You should play for board control, because then if you have it, you'll auto win as soon as you get Bad Moon Rising off. As much as I've said that should be so easy to do, like in the normal course of my games, fine, I'll just do that. You know, you always have a board just because you have stuff out there, even if it's not good. You'll have a couple weenies, a 1/1 here, a 2/2 there, but that's all you need, and then you can obviously transform it into whatever you want. We could do it right now, but I almost don't even feel compelled to. I should try to consolidate the board a bit more. This is draw a card for each zombie, which also corresponds with that aspect, like heal everybody, like, of having the board full of weenie stuff. Right? It doesn't matter what it is that you have. Draw a card for each zombie. I thought I'd be able to do a little more with Star Sword, but I just couldn't do it. So the damage that we're doing to them feels sort of irrelevant for now. The 6 mana, 6/7 is not a bad value. So what we have is either I can trade or I'm going to need a little more help in case you do something with that. You might think, why am I waiting so long? Fuck. To do Bad Moon Rising, but oh shit, now I won't even be able to do it at all. That at least stayed alive. I don't get this. Is that meant to be... Is that meant to happen? Like where that's free, or is that a bug? Because that would have cost me 7. I certainly didn't have enough. I'm so confused. Yeah, I don't want to play it unless I have multiple things out there, but that seems like a bug. It should still cost you what it costs, even if you're getting it in that moment. So they'll always have 0 brains or 0 sun, but they'll still do it as soon as they get it, and they all cost at least 1. +1 for each sun you made this turn. I'm very much at risk of dying here, even if they can't deal with the stupid Gargantuan, but they already could have. Why does everybody do that? Like, I have lethal, but then they'll just play stuff in other lanes and ignore what I'm doing. Come on, let's just win this one. I don't want to do this shit all night. Yeah, deadly and strike through. So now you'll be down to 1 HP here, but you'll have the stupid ass block meter to save you as well. They don't seem to be able to deal with the water very well, but I'm also down to 5 HP, so I'd have to like do this, and then they very well could still win, which would be really annoying. I'd have to play as Wall Knight. That's the only condition that's going to annoy me, is having to play as every hero. I almost shouldn't do that, but it gives you some variety. Like if I lose as one, I have to play as everybody else then and come back around. That seems very contrived, but that's the one element that at least I'm altering. I'm altering the format. Pray I don't alter it further, where, you know, I'm going to make it even more difficult to deal with. Bro. If you had Bullseye, you would just kill him. You know, couldn't hurt. But it's still not going to... Oh, maybe it will. Like, I had no control over that interaction at all. But I'm dead. I'm dead. Or no, I could get the block meter and then still kill you there. Yeah, apparently these are free, which I maybe never understood till now, but I feel like it's a little... I feel like it's a little bit inconsistent sometimes with how they work. So here you have fucking... You have the ability to, okay, let's do one as Wall Knight. Look how we go on such a random tailspin negative streak. Like, we were on a good streak for a little bit. Rank 10 to rank 14 in like an hour. It's not really that big of a deal, but rank 27 over here. Not a bad starting hand. Bro, just hurry up. But no, that's at least the pace that we sort of got to set with this is every day, every episode, try to get 5 ranks. So within 10 days, we'd be at rank 50, but it'll obviously get much harder. Double pot of gold, which doesn't really bother me too much. And the reason why is because you obviously feel that the game would have to go on for a super long time, which in this case, it probably will go on for a super long time anyway. But you can do the water chestnut. I tend to not really want to put it in the water anymore, though. At the beginning, I thought, oh, what a cool novel thing, but why is that acting like it's targeting a specific card? You normally do that on the board, don't you? Like, the animation appears in like one lane, as if it really matters where you're putting it. You can put that there. I don't really see the point of team up right now. Why couldn't it be something higher cost? Reincarnation while in your hand at the end of the turn, transform into a random plant with +1/+1. It keeps this ability. Oh, that is pretty fun. Actually, I take it back because it could turn into something higher cost anyway. Alright, so we're in a good, reasonable position here. Team up there. So do I care about the thing, Dr. Spacetime? And the answer is... Oh, that's actually good. And it is amphibious, too. So you see, that makes it very hard to deal with that. Similar to the Astrocado. Fuck you. God damn it. They don't want you to do any kind of fun interaction. But they have plenty of brains left, too. And they just didn't do anything. But yeah, now this stays in almost like a bugged out spot where it's too high elevated. Don't you hate that when your nuts are just stay in an elevated position? When your nut is just erect and it won't go back to normal? Alright, can you hurry up? Alright, so next turn we can go nuts with the spine apple, and the reason why is because you're able to basically, you know, fucking they have so much removal. Is this how Super Brains is actually supposed to play? Like, move a plan, gets +4. I don't even want to bother with that. Complete an environment, destroy a planet with 2 or less. Okay. Are you gonna destroy? It's not like what you destroy has to be in the environment, right? So you could have destroyed that, which might have actually been better. Each time he hides in a gravestone, mix them up. Some kind of magical hats type bullshit over here. You really can't play around this very well. We'll just kind of share the love a bit there, and everything should basically survive. That'll trade in. That'll be fine. And that'll still survive. But I think we're sort of being outvalued here a little bit with just how many cards they have and everything like that. So you got the berry thing here, which doesn't actually have team up, which it feels like it really should, but you can put it with some other. When it gets hurt, it gets +4. And so let's sort of stack up that. So the Dr. Spacetime is going to die to the environment anyway. Okay, he's showing me how Bad Moon Rising should be used. I mean, when is that ever going to be bad? But isn't that super rare to get 2 of the same thing like that? That's pretty unlikely. Gets +2/+2 when a planet zombie is frozen. That's not even really all that good. Of all the things you could have gotten for that situation, at least. Right, like these were obviously very good. End of turn, all Gargantuars hide in a gravestone. Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, but that actually works out pretty well. What a top deck. Most of this stuff will still trade in relatively reasonably. Now you have 7, 6. I can't really do anything about. But the bigger picture problem is I don't have the ability to actually do whatever. Now, who will I have to play as next? I'm going to run out of heroes, actually. I'll play as Infinity and then Solar Flare to try to get through this coveted rank 15, or maybe I don't even care. I didn't realize I misspoke. My challenge isn't to get to rank 50. It's to get to rank 15 because... The fuck is that noise in the background? You probably could hear that too. Don't bug me with a real life emergency. I'm playing PvZ Heroes. It's very serious business. I'm obviously going to lose this one. Maybe I don't even care. Like, whatever. This sets like a bad precedent for next month, though, because we have like good and bad streaks, but you would kind of have to pick one and really commit to it. But the way that you would do that is also by saying... You would commit to it by also saying that you would... what do you call it? You would pick the best one and just keep playing as them over and over. Okay, whatever. That went on longer than I thought. See, well, you know what? Just for the sake of getting to 15, let's just try to do it. We'd have like only the 2 more shots to try. I don't really even want to, but yeah, we've had actually some relatively long queue times today. Not that they're long at all, but just it's always such a surprise how quick they are. So this is a rank 20 matchup, which means this one seems relatively fair in that context. All right, so you have a 2-4-4, not the greatest. Bro, this is taking way longer than it fucking should have. Now the incentive to put this here is just so the effect stays alive the whole time. Even if you miss out on the first deadly that you get. So you have the ability to... I have a decent curve, but this turn 3 is going to be sort of the problem. I might just do that, or I'm not sure. What is it with these people taking so long? Like, what are they tryharding at this early stage in the game, too? Like, it's turn 3 in a rank 20 casual fucking game. You have the ability to just buff that is probably the only thing. You could move it if I really want to trade it into something, but I kind of don't even want to. But yeah, a lot of the time people just don't have an answer for amphibious stuff, but they could still just use basic removal on it. Or yeah, there should always be one like that. That's like this environment becomes amphibious, which means now everything in there has to be amphibious. Which I guess you could only do if they don't have anything on there already that isn't amphibious, or you could just kill it, but that would be too strong. Alright, that could be very good because it would be able to hit both of these and still not die. Or, I mean, it wouldn't die anyway. Well, it would end up here and just get hit by that once, but... Move a plant won't really matter, though, unless you can do something... Right, to buff it. Even then, it still won't die. Like, how does the precedent of attacking work? It'll still attack in, then it'll move, and then it'll attack at the same time. Right, they still fight back. You're gonna get a very epic cowboy play here. Can't be hurt, okay. You've already been hurt though, so you'll still move to the next lane and then stop. Wait, I thought it should have still moved over one more though, right? Okay, when hurt, make a 1-1 swap. Okay, we maybe should win this game off the start. Oh, I shouldn't have maybe blocked his movement there, but I guess I wasn't expecting him to survive anyway. You could like have moved him back left and cycled through like that. I always love the animation on that card. Oh yeah, and because of the deadly thing, you get that too. You got the little disco shit going on with respect to the, you know, disco synergy here, and then you got the stupid guy who throws the hat and does damage for your dancers. I never bother committing fucking... Man, these people are so resilient today. I never bother committing to memory any of these names. Like, what is this called? Discotron 3000. Nothing really too creative or inventive. You'll absorb it with the block meter, but we got a little lucky with a cowboy play. Otherwise, we wouldn't have probably been in such a good spot. Bro just points his finger and thinks he can attack like that. Yeah, that's pretty convenient, but we're still in a good shape. This wouldn't be very effective right now. This would be highly effective right now. Hard for me to believe that you could possibly deal with this situation, but somehow they are. Like, bro, look at my board. This is the kind of game, though, that does give you that sort of satisfaction a bit. Like, not just this one game that we're playing. I mean, the PvZ Heroes overall. It'll give you that satisfaction of, like... You know, you get a good board, and then it kind of sticks around because there's not a ton of AoE. And there's not a ton of ways to really stop that from happening. Right, so you get to kind of relish in it and show it off. And that's kind of what mid-range / control can sometimes be enjoyable for, is you get like a really sick board and then you really feel the value and reward for it, instead of just like, oh, you get to basically, you know, do it, but then you know, oh, they always have removal, they always have this, they always have that. Did you just really die from the effect of that shit itself? Your stupid ass little cactus thing. We had a couple very interesting wins today. That one comeback was crazy with combustible. Okay, so or actually I might do something else here in a minute.